Hello and welcome back to Greenhill Today.
I'm Lane Herbert.
And I'm Tage Dingra.
And in today's episode, we have two special sections for you.
So first, we're going to talk to sophomore Catherine Lee, who's a very talented flute player, and we're going to go into what drew her to the instrument, her passions, and the life lessons she's learned from playing for so many years.
And second, we got an exclusive interview with 4 freshmen who have designed a prototype that could help predict and prevent car crashes.
So let's go to our first segment, which is our student feature of Catherine Lee.
I'm Catherine Lee, and I play the flute. Whenever I perform for flute, it's not really about getting the notes on the page correctly. It's about making the audience feel something and evoke emotion in them, and more or less just make the performance worthwhile for them. So I chose the flute in 5th grade going into 6th grade, and then I chose the flute because I love the sound that it has. It's really pure, and the vibrato it just evokes so much emotion. And so I joined my middle school band playing the flute, and I wasn't really sure if I liked the instrument or not, but over time I started taking private lessons, and that really helped me improve. And then eventually I'm here where I am now because of a lot of practice and work. And I think one of the biggest spikes in my improvement was going to a camp called Flute Fire and meeting other flute teachers and performers that had such passion. Just really helped me improve a lot. So the selection process for ATSSB is basically first you start with all region, and then they take the first, I think it's 8 flutes, and then they advance to area, and then at area auditions they take the top 2 chairs, and then those 2 go to state. And then I think there's 5 areas, so that's 10 flutes at state in total. So the concert this year was in San Antonio, as well as the convention. And then we performed at the Lila Cockerel Theater. And it was really great meeting all the different flutists and musicians in general. They're all really passionate, and it was great meeting other people that are interested in music as well.
And we're back, and now we're going to go to an interview with 4 freshmen who have designed a prototype to help predict and prevent car crashes.
We came up with this idea when one of our teammates ended up in a near accident due to the problem that we were trying to solve. So what we came up with was an idea of a camera that would pop up on top of your car, allowing you to see over obstructions like nearby cars, allowing you to view 360 around the entire car instead of just having mirrors and things like that. So this design that we created allowed us to see everywhere.
So originally we thought that we'd have as much room as we wanted to work with, but then after running the math, we realized that we would have to fit it within a 3x6 box, which was going to be very difficult because of all the capabilities that this device was supposed to have, and we didn't know if we could fit that all in such a tiny space.
So the design of the original hinge basically made it so that we'd go from 2 feet to 1 foot, so it halved in size, but the type of joint that we were taking inspiration from wasn't compressible enough for it to be structurally sound. So our newly designed latch was a dual geared mechanism. One of the main gears actually drove the body, while it was hooked up to a smaller gear that was hooked up to a string that would slowly pull down the upper mechanisms so that it would pressurize the air as it came down. The reason why we set it up like this was so that if the joint ever failed or power got cut, the camera would automatically release itself into the up position instead of the down, since actually always having that visibility of sight is safer than never having it.
So our innovation had a radar aspect to it, where first it could sense the speed of incoming cars so that you were able to correctly gauge when you should turn at your intersection, because depending on that you may be getting into a crash or may not. And so the display would allow you to gauge whether or not you should turn, thereby decreasing the amount of accidents you could get into.
Yeah. The device was also eco-friendly. It powered itself by solar panels, which would collect sunlight during the day and then would also store them in the battery for nighttime usage. And it also had many microturbines built in to power it through wind energy.
So the device also seconded as a theft protection device, allowing you to have it popped up when your car is in, say, a parking garage or just anywhere, and it would monitor your car, alerting the user if someone were to come too close. And it has a machine algorithm that would learn based on like how the user responds to that to see if you should notify the user of different types of like touches and things like that.
And the basic model of the device to maintain power effectiveness actually uses the smartphone display and would use the Google Maps API so that you could layer the footage that the camera saw on top of an actual map projection. That way the user could see whenever the camera popped up, wherever they're going with their directions along with their camera.
That's all we have for today's episode. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to Greenhill Today
And make sure to stay safe and clean. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
on Greenhill Today.